Hey, welcome. It's Karamu. This will be a practice on backbending, specifically working towards Chakrasana. If you haven't warmed up already, I would pause the video, take about 10-20 minutes just to warm the body up. And once you are ready, meet me on the mat, 2 blocks ideally, and we'll get started. So one of the important things about backbending is strengthening the back and opening the front side of the body. So we're just going to slowly work towards that. You can grab the blocks and just put them to the side for a second and come lying down on the belly. Got the hands right under the face and under the forehead. And then we're just going to lift the chest up and down. Work on strengthening, just activating the muscles on the back. And then we're going to work into opening the front side of the body, and there's different variations for this. First one is just Sphinx pose, hands flat, pressing down in the lower arms, and try not to squeeze the lower back too much. Make sure the legs are active, the neck is long. If you want to stay in a little bit more movement, you can cross the arms, elbows a little bit forward, and you're just going to pull the chest a little bit forward with the arms, and then bring the chest over to the right, left, like you're bringing the belly button to one elbow and then to the other. If you're in that first variation, just keep breathing and try to soften the front side. Whichever version you're doing, try not to collapse in the shoulders. Keep the neck long and open. And if you're in that second option, make sure you take a few breaks. Just pause and relax all the tension and then continue again. And then slowly pause in center. Whichever version you're doing, just come out and relax for a bit. Take some deep breaths into the lower back, into the belly. And then we'll move back into Sphinx pose. Just doing a quick opening for the quads. The left hand comes down, flat in front of the body. The right knee bends. You can lean a little bit to one side and see if you can catch the right foot. Either catching from the outside or the inside, whatever feels more comfortable for the shoulder and the hip, and try to keep the hip down and grounded. The other leg is nice and straight, strong. Chest is lifting. Just trying to breathe here. And once you're here, start to kick the right leg back into the hand. It should lift the chest a little bit more. And then see if you can open the chest even more. And then we're going to come out. Relax. let's switch sides. So right leg is straight, left leg bends, left hand grabs the ankle or the shin, preferably not the top of the foot for now. And then you can press into the hand. And the right arm is pressing down actively. And slowly release. And bring the hands under the chest and just push up for a moment. Come into child's pose. Try to release the spine, lower back. Once you're ready, you can grab your blocks. If you have cork blocks, I would put a blanket over them because those are just painful, incredibly painful. And we're going to place the blocks under the upper back. I have the legs crossed at the moment, and we're just going to grab the head with the arms. So before you dump all the way back, keep the chest a little bit lifted for a second and try to reach the elbows away from the blocks, reaching towards the ceiling. And you should feel that the shoulder blades flatten against the rib cage. If you don't, maybe remove a block, come a little bit lower. In any case, don't try to go deeper. Once you're here, squeeze the elbows a little bit in towards each other, away from the block, up, 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 up. And then start to activate the legs. Imagine ripping the mat open with the feet, turning on the outside of the legs, and then allow the chest to sink back over the blocks. Still breathing. If you notice that the body locks up, as in it doesn't want to open even more, just come out, take a breath, and try again. If you notice that the body is still opening slowly, you can stay here. Okay, and then we'll slowly come out, bring the chin to the chest, hands next to the hips. Help yourself up, keep the belly nice and long. And if you need to wiggle something out, that's totally fine. All right, we're gonna do this 2 or 3 more times. And I'll keep adding variations, but try to figure out what feels nice for your back, what seems to be opening. Same thing what we just did. So the elbows squeeze in, the chest or the rib cage is strong and active, and the shoulder blades are flat on the rib cage. This time, legs turn on again, and then we're gonna rock to the left and right over the block. Legs stay in one place. It's just the chest moving back and forth. This is quite challenging to do if you don't activate the arms. And again, same thing as the previous version. If you're in the pose and you notice that the body is shutting down or it locks up and it's not opening, then just come out. Don't force it. Take a step back. When you're ready, come out again. It might even feel easier to just be here in Dandasana. And again, if you need to wiggle or twist, totally fine. All right, coming back. This time, legs are straight. And I'll just cross the right leg over the, I'll cross the left leg over the right. Same thing with the arms, elbows squeeze in, shoulder blades are flat against the rib cage. This time, internally rotate the legs so they turn towards each other. Press the legs against each other and really try to squeeze the outside of the hips. Once the legs are strong, shoulders are active, elbows coming together, you rock again to the left and right. Keep the legs strong, it's important. Keep them strong, turning in, pressing against each other. And if you can keep breathing, that would be great. All right, you can pause, center, switch sides. So now the right leg is over left, and just restart. So come up a little bit with the chest, turn the thighs in, squeeze the inside of the thighs, press the legs against each other, turn on the outside of the hips, and then slowly reach back. Arms are active, and then just move and twist over left and right. All right, when you're ready, chest comes up, chin to chest as well, and then arms. Ooh. Got a nice crack there. Okay, last time we're going down. Same thing with the arms, just grabbing the back. This time the legs are at hips distance. Squeeze the elbows in, shoulders are strong, shoulder blades against the rib cage, and then you can just lift one leg. It doesn't need to go far, but just enough that you can feel the leg really actively working. And then we're going to switch legs. Try to keep it straight if it's possible. Again, it doesn't need to go all the way up, just a bit. We're trying to get the contraction in the top of the thigh instead of deep in the core. Top of the thigh, really try to squeeze it there. When you're ready, you release, leg comes down, chin comes up. You can remove the blocks, just put them on the side and take a take a nice breath. So different variations you can play with to open the spine. I would really recommend twisting actions, or at least my teacher recommends it. And also, if 2 blocks is too high, just remove 1 block and do it a little bit lower. It shouldn't hurt in the lower back, so if it does, figure out how to make it softer for the lower back. I'm just going to move the blocks over to the side here, and we're going to come lying down on our backs. So knees are bent here, and let's just take a few bridge poses to warm up the spine. If you're moving into some of the back bending, this is one of the foundational poses to help get ready. Okay. So if it's, the spine or the back doesn't feel like opening today, maybe just staying here is totally fine. If you feel like you can move a little bit deeper into the back, you can lift onto the wrists. Elbows are in. And then, whichever version you're doing, slowly come down, relax for a second. Let me just scoot back to the center of the mat. All right. So for Chakrasana, what's important is that the shoulder blades are flat on the rib cage. And if that's still a little confusing, you can straighten the arms up and then reach the shoulders up off and then just relax the shoulders back down. And this difference is what we're looking for. One of the ways I learned how to activate the right muscles is by grabbing a block flat between the hands, and you press the blocks in. You reach the hands up, the shoulders up, squeezing the block, and then as you bring the thumbs down towards the ground, so the block behind you, you'll feel the rib cage starting to turn on, and that's more or less where we want to be. That's in any case the muscle group that we want to be using. So the shoulders aren't collapsed. If you do this, you'll notice that it feels impossible. It feels like you don't have any strength. And that's just because the circulation to the arms is clogged. So squeeze the block. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Really with the index finger and the knuckle of each hand, thumbs are pointing out. And you can practice this as much as you want just to get used to it. And even if there's too much, you just bring the block towards the knees and you can work your way over the back. And it's usually when I'm bringing the block towards the mat and bringing it back up that I really feel the nice squeeze on the shoulder blades, on the rib cage. All right, so if you're still prepping, those are 2 good options. Bridge pose and using the block. The block will end up freeing the neck and you won't have the vein popping at the front of on the forehead. Moving into Chakrasana. The arms come straight up and you can bring the fingertips down towards the mat. The thumbs are rather close to the ears. I can actually lift my thumbs and I can I can touch my ears with my thumbs right now. So the thumbs are on the ear side, they're not on the outside. From here, we're just gonna lift up the hips. And if you want to go further, you lift up onto the head. And from here, you can place the hands flat on the ground. You're still breathing. When you're ready, you lift the head up. And when you're ready, you first very slowly place the head down, and then you slide onto the lower back. And breathe. The reason it's called Chakrasana is because it has the potential to open the 7 major chakras, which basically means there can be a huge flow that opens up in the body. Okay, we're going to try one more time. So when you're ready, fingertips are on the ground. You're going to lift the hips, lift the head, place the hands down. Whoop. Make sure the fingertips are pressing down hard. You're not squeezing too much in the wrists. And when you're ready, come out. So I would say the most important thing to think about with Chakrasana is the shoulders, the shoulder girdle, just because that's something that I often see as being that often needs support. So this block thing will really help for you to feel which muscles you need to use. Bringing the shoulders off of the ground when the block comes up is the action that we're looking for. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Next thing to think about is the lower back. There's a tendency to squeeze the lower back as much as possible. Try not to do that. Try to keep the lower back free and open so things can just flow naturally. When you're ready to kind of release some of the tension that came out, I'd recommend a twist. Maybe just bringing one leg to the side. Twisting to the other side. Or maybe bringing both legs. Maybe squeezing the knees towards the armpits, but make sure the spine stays neutral. So we're not necessarily trying to flatten the lower back. Keep it nice and neutral. So if you're going to move on with the day, or you're going to end off with another practice, hopefully see you soon. And thanks for joining this one. Take care. Namaste.